Hey everyone, thanks for coming out. We're Superficial, a visual design studio.
At Superficial, we use future-forward aesthetics, ideas, and techniques to create new visual realities.
We've always been interested in the simulated layers that augment our physical world, how these layers coexist, blur, and can be used to enhance our reality.
In our work, we take elements of the real world, things which are physical, photographic, and human, and combine them with the simulated, the digital, and the imaginary to advance our experience in digital spaces.
We work across three key areas. The first is hyperreal aesthetics that go beyond reality, where materials are impossibly glossy and physics is thrown out the window, where vivid CGI merges with photography and video. We use these aesthetics to create campaign imagery and video content that brings people into these impossible scenarios and spaces.
The second dimension is bespoke interactions, which are tailor-made to each individual project. These include an interactive web experience for a 3D printed eyewear startup, a collections website for the soon-to-be-launched M+ Museum in Hong Kong, encouraging exploration of over 5,000 objects, and a playful makeup music app for experimental musician Klein. Our interest in these interactions is crafting moments for people to slow down and engage in more meaningful ways.
And the third key dimension is future-forward concepts, where we project current trends into new ideas and realities. This allows us to test out possibilities and turn the hypothetical into the real. This is a collection of virtual-only products where we use blockchain to create digital scarcity and exclusivity with non-physical products. And here we recreated a physical storefront in Chinatown to simulate future living scenarios for real estate in the area. Today we're going to be talking about one of these future-forward projects we're working on making a reality, the virtual anthology of fashion.
How we experience the world is becoming increasingly simulated and increasingly convincing. Alongside these technologies, we're seeing a transformation in how we express ourselves through fashion and a multitude of online identities. We've seen digital avatars rise to impressive cultural influence, experienced sell-out collections of digital-only garments, and entered into a generation where digital identities rival the importance of their physical counterparts. Where does this leave physical garments, culturally significant pieces that are housed in museums and private collections around the world?
Imagine I'm a filmmaker and I want to capture this garment by Ray Karakubo under the ocean to see how it would move amongst the coral. Or I'm a fashion student fascinated by these transforming dresses by Hussein Chalayang, and I want to understand their underlying construction. Or perhaps I'm an indie game creator and I want to see my characters decked out in Walter Van Berendonck and Craig Green engage in a Street Fighter battle.
To make all this possible and more, we're creating the Virtual Anthology of Fashion, a project where we take garments like this piece by Izumi Ake and create 3D virtualizations, digital doubles that are free to travel beyond the physical and into contemporary digital narratives.
We're going to touch on a couple of key parts of the virtualization process and the value it brings. In mirroring construction, the process is to first understand and document the underlying patterns, from which clean 3D meshes that are true to the original garments can be generated. And this helps to avoid the occlusion and artifacts that can occur with photography and 3D scanning.
Fabrics and materials are fundamental to the garments, so it's really important to capture the materials in high fidelity. By photographing fabrics under a range of lighting conditions, high-resolution texture maps can be generated. Color, roughness, transparency, and surface details can be accurately depicted, as well as how the fabrics would respond to lighting and environment.
So once we have these clean 3D meshes and an understanding of the underlying construction, garments can be brought to life, to be seen the way they were intended, being worn and in motion. This opens up a multitude of applications.
Our ultimate goal is to build an open access online archive for people to discover and download these virtualized garments, bringing fashion into a future where it can be experienced in new, spectacular ways, beyond what's possible physically.
We'd love to connect with adventurous brands looking to take their garments into a new dimension, and museums and private collectors to partner with to create the founding collection for the virtual anthology of fashion. We're Superficial. Come say hi. We'll be in the Sky Room afterwards. Thanks so much.
Thanks.